In the complex tapestry of human existence, we are often confronted with situations that force us to question our values, beliefs, and moral principles. These challenging scenarios, where right and wrong seem to blur, are what we refer to as ethical dilemmas. Before we dive in, if you find this content valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment below. It truly helps us grow. Now, let's get started. Ethical dilemmas are not confined to the pages of philosophy textbooks. They manifest in our daily lives, in our workplaces, our relationships, and in society at large. This narration explores the concept of ethical dilemmas, their significance, and the ways in which individuals and societies grapple with them. Defining ethical dilemmas. Ethical dilemmas are situations in which individuals or groups face conflicting moral principles and must make a choice that involves sacrificing one ethical value for another. These dilemmas typically occur when there is no clear, unequivocal answer to the question of what is right or wrong. The decisions individuals make in such situations can have profound consequences, not only for themselves but also for those around them. An essential characteristic of ethical dilemmas is the presence of competing moral imperatives. This means that, in these situations, individuals perceive valid reasons to support opposing courses of action. For example, consider the classic ethical dilemma of a runaway trolley heading towards 5 people tied to a track, with the only way to save them being to divert the trolley onto another track where one person is tied. In this scenario, the conflicting moral imperatives are clear: saving the 5 lives versus not intentionally causing harm to an innocent person. Types of ethical dilemmas. Ethical dilemmas can take various forms, each presenting unique challenges and complexities. Some common types of ethical dilemmas include: 1. Personal versus professional ethics. Individuals often encounter ethical conflicts between their personal values and the ethical standards expected in their professional roles. For instance, a lawyer may face the moral dilemma of defending a client they believe to be guilty. 2. Autonomy versus beneficence. In healthcare, a common ethical dilemma arises between respecting a patient's autonomy, their right to make decisions about their own treatment, and the healthcare provider's duty to act in the patient's best interests. 3. Truth-telling versus deception. Honesty is a fundamental moral principle, but there are situations, such as sparing a loved one from painful truths, where individuals grapple with whether to be entirely truthful or employ some level of deception. 4. Short-term versus long-term gain. In the business world, ethical dilemmas often revolve around the choice between short-term profit and long-term sustainability, where immediate gains may come at the expense of ethical business practices. 5. Individual versus collective welfare. Societal dilemmas frequently involve the tension between individual rights and the greater good. Issues like vaccine mandates or environmental regulations exemplify this ethical struggle. The significance of ethical dilemmas. Ethical dilemmas play a crucial role in our personal and collective development. They serve as crucibles for our moral character, forcing us to confront and refine our values. Here's why ethical dilemmas are significant. 1. Moral growth. Ethical dilemmas challenge individuals to reflect on their values and principles, promoting moral growth and self-awareness. By grappling with these dilemmas, we often emerge with a deeper understanding of our ethical convictions. 2. Ethical decision-making. Engaging with ethical dilemmas helps individuals sharpen their decision-making skills. It requires a careful analysis of the consequences and ethical principles at stake, fostering critical thinking and ethical reasoning. 3. Shaping society. Ethical dilemmas drive social progress. They force societies to confront and evolve their ethical standards, pushing for more just and equitable systems. 4. Test of integrity. Ethical dilemmas test one's integrity. They reveal whether individuals and organizations uphold their stated values even when faced with challenging circumstances. 5. Moral dialogue. These dilemmas stimulate important conversations about morality, ethics, and values, fostering a richer understanding of diverse perspectives and ethical frameworks. Navigating ethical dilemmas. Navigating ethical dilemmas is seldom straightforward. The process involves a complex interplay of moral reasoning, empathy, and introspection. Here are steps individuals and societies can take to navigate these challenging situations. 1. Identify the dilemma. The first step is recognizing that an ethical dilemma exists. This requires a keen awareness of the conflicting moral principles at play. 2. Gather information. Seek as much information as possible to understand the context and consequences of different courses of action. This helps in making informed decisions. 3. Examine personal values. Reflect on your own values, beliefs, and ethical principles. Consider how they align or conflict with the choices at hand. 4. Consider stakeholders. Identify all the individuals or groups who may be affected by the decision. Assess their interests and potential harm or benefit. 5. Ethical theories. Explore ethical theories and frameworks, such as utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, and ethics of care, to analyze the situation from different angles. 6. Consult others. Seek input from trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues. Different perspectives can shed light on aspects of the dilemma that you may not have considered. 7. Weigh consequences. Carefully evaluate the potential consequences of each decision. Consider both short-term and long-term outcomes. 8. Choose and justify. Make a decision based on your analysis and be prepared to explain and justify your choice, especially if it contradicts widely accepted norms. 9. Take responsibility. Accept responsibility for your decision and its consequences, whether positive or negative. 10. Learn and adapt. Ethical dilemmas provide opportunities for growth. Reflect on the experience and use it to inform future ethical decisions. Societal approaches to ethical dilemmas. Beyond individual decision-making, societies and institutions must also grapple with ethical dilemmas. Here are some approaches that societies use to address these challenges. 1. Ethical codes and guidelines. Many professions and organizations develop codes of ethics and guidelines to provide a framework for ethical decision-making. These codes can help individuals within the organization navigate dilemmas. 2. Legal frameworks. Laws and regulations are often established to address societal ethical dilemmas. These legal frameworks reflect a society's consensus on certain ethical issues. 3. Ethical committees. In healthcare and research, ethical committees review and approve protocols to ensure they align with ethical standards. 4. Public debate. Ethical dilemmas with broad societal implications are often debated in the public sphere. This democratic process helps shape policies and regulations. 5. Education and awareness. Raising awareness about ethical issues and providing education on ethics can empower individuals to make more informed and ethical choices. Case studies, ethical dilemmas in practice. To better understand the complexity of ethical dilemmas, let's explore a few real-world examples. 1. The trolley problem. This classic ethical dilemma forces us to choose between actively diverting a trolley to save multiple lives at the expense of one or allowing it to continue on its course, causing more deaths. 2. Whistleblowing. Employees who discover wrongdoing within their organizations face a dilemma. Reporting the misconduct may be ethically responsible but could also jeopardize their careers and livelihoods. 3. Climate change. The global community faces an ethical dilemma regarding climate change. Balancing economic growth with environmental preservation raises profound questions about intergenerational justice. 4. Assisted suicide. The debate over assisted suicide raises complex ethical questions about autonomy, the sanctity of life, and the role of healthcare providers. 5. Immigration policies. Countries grapple with ethical dilemmas surrounding immigration. Balancing national security concerns with humanitarian obligations to refugees and immigrants challenges policymakers worldwide. 6. Artificial intelligence and automation. As AI and automation technologies advance, ethical dilemmas arise concerning job displacement, privacy, and the ethical use of AI in decision-making. 7. Genetic engineering. The field of genetic engineering presents ethical dilemmas related to the modification of human genes, raising questions about consent, unintended consequences, and the limits of scientific intervention. 8. Resource allocation in healthcare. Healthcare systems worldwide face the ethical dilemma of allocating limited resources, such as organ transplants or life-saving treatments, fairly and equitably among patients. These case studies illustrate the breadth and complexity of ethical dilemmas in our modern world. They highlight the multifaceted nature of ethical decision-making and the competing values and interests that often come into play. Ethical dilemmas are an intrinsic part of the human experience. They challenge us to navigate the often murky waters of morality, requiring us to make difficult choices that can have far-reaching consequences. While ethical dilemmas can be uncomfortable and perplexing, they are also essential for personal growth, moral development, and societal progress. In the face of ethical dilemmas, individuals and societies must engage in thoughtful and reflective decision-making. This involves recognizing the competing moral principles at play, gathering information, considering consequences, and making decisions that align with one's values and principles. Moreover, it requires accepting responsibility for those decisions and learning from the experience. Ethical dilemmas will continue to evolve as society changes, technology advances, and new ethical questions emerge. Therefore, it is crucial for individuals and societies to foster ethical awareness, engage in open dialogue, and adapt ethical frameworks to address these ongoing challenges. Ultimately, it is through these ethical dilemmas that we define our moral character and shape the kind of world we wish to live in, a world that values justice, compassion, and ethical integrity.